Okay, so for today's review, I am going to be reviewing the Cushion Colour Corrector. This is in the shade Peach. These come in 5 different shades, but this is the one that I am most interested in because it will target my under eye circles, which is my main problem area. I didn't particularly want to be doing this review today. I was desperate to get my hands on one of the brand new foundations that they've just launched, but the postman didn't come until 12 o'clock, so there wouldn't have been enough time to give it a really good run and a really good honest review from me. So I'm going to do that tomorrow for you, so stay tuned for that. If you want to see how one of the new foundations wears throughout the day, how it applies, then tune in tomorrow. But today is going to be the Cushion Corrector in Peach. So if you are interested in finding out how this applies, whether it goes creasy or cakey, then please keep watching. Okay, so dark circles are a real problem area for me, so I have probably tried out every single colour corrector on the planet, and my favourite ride or die product has always been the MAC Prep and Prime in Bright Forecast. This is more of a peachy shade rather than an orangey shade. It's a liquid rather than a cream, so I find that it's quite hydrating. It doesn't crease in my fine lines and wrinkles, it doesn't separate, and it stays where I want it to all day. So there is a really tall order to beat the MAC Prep and Prime. However, the MAC Prep and Prime is £21 and the Makeup Revolution Cushion Corrector is £4. Let me show you. So there is the product in the lid, and then you've got the sponge that dips into the lid, collects the product, and then allows you to put it on your eye. It is more of a creamy consistency, or so it looks like, and the colour looks identical to the NYX Dark Circle Concealer, which I have tried before, is a great product, but because it's a cream, it tends to separate and sink into my fine lines and wrinkles. So I'm really excited to see whether this does the same or whether this is just as good a product as my MAC Prep and Prime. Only one way to find out. Okay, so the Makeup Revolution Colour Corrector comes in 5 different shades. There's the green shade to counteract redness. There is the orange shade, which is quite deep to counteract dark circles and dark spots underneath the eyes if you have really bad dark circles or if your complexion is slightly darker than mine. There's the peach colour corrector for dark circles and dullness, and if you have dark circles underneath your eyes and you have a very fair complexion like me, I would go for the peach one and not the orange one. There's also the banana one, which is brightens, and there is the light one to conceal. So as soon as you open the product, it's already got some product on the sponge. It's actually quite large, a sponge. I think I'd prefer it to be a little bit smaller so it's a little bit more precise. Let's get a little brush and ooh, it's very creamy. I am having to drag to blend that out. I don't like the applicator. I don't think it's good enough for underneath the eye. I think this is great for on the face. It's really pigmented, so the product itself is great, but I think how I would apply it would be to add it to the brush using the sponge and then put it on that way. That way you don't have to drag the skin, you can just pat it on. Doesn't feel overly creamy, so we may have a good result with this. I'm going to compare it with the MAC Prep and Prime. I'm going to put the MAC Prep and Prime on the other eye and let's compare. Now I can already tell you for definite that the MAC Prep and Prime is not going to be as pigmented as this. It's nowhere near as orangey. I've put far too much product on. And take a bit off. There we go. It's a lot paler. But a lot more liquidy. The MAC Prep and Prime you can actually use on its own as a concealer if that's how you choose to use it. I know my mum uses it like that. Okay, so let's just compare. At the moment, both products are completely on par with one another with regards to how they have completely cancelled out any dullness and also any under eye circles. I think the difference will be the wear test. I'm going to put the rest of my makeup on and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so I am back and I can't tell the difference to such an extent that I am going to have to rewind the video and figure out which eye I put which product on. I honestly can't tell. I am not saying that these two are direct comparisons with one another because one is a liquid and one is a liquid cream, but they have both done the same job. They have both done it beautifully. I am so super impressed. The MAC Prep and Prime is £21 and the Makeup Revolution colour corrector is £4. And even though it's a cream, because it's got the cushion, you can put less product on. Now I definitely won't be using it with the applicator sponge in future. I will, like I did earlier, dip the brush in the sponge. You hardly get any product on the brush that way, and then you can stipple that exactly where you need it. I'm not too keen on this being so bulky. This works for the entire face, but on the delicate under eye area, I'm not actually sure that this is good enough. It's not small enough, but the product itself inside is fantastic. So I'm going to check in with you a little bit later on and let you know how this goes. Will it crease? Will it sit in my fine lines? Will it look dry and cakey? See you all in a bit. Bye. Hi everybody, welcome back to the check-in. I'm going to zoom you in because I think the results speak for themselves, so give me one sec. Okay, so as you can see, both sides look absolutely fantastic, and it's now been 6 hours since I first applied the product. If there was going to be any caking and creasing, it would have happened by now. So we must remember that the MAC side cost £21. £21, and the Makeup Revolution only costs £4. The MAC is 5 times more expensive than the Makeup Revolution. Now on the Makeup Revolution side, you can see there is a little bit more creasing in my fine lines and wrinkles. I do have a few more fine lines on this side of my face than I do on the MAC side, so that is a little unfair. But I also applied far too much colour corrector on the Makeup Revolution side, and this is because I applied it with that awful sponge applicator that just wasn't very precise. Tomorrow I'll apply the product from the sponge directly to a brush, and then I will stipple that underneath my eye. By doing it this way, I'll get a lot less product underneath the eye, and therefore I will need a lot less concealer to cover up the orange colour corrector colour. I think tomorrow this won't crease at all. Shock horror. If it still creases and I am completely wrong, I will put a comment in the description bar below. This is something that I always do. If you are a regular to my channel, you will know this. If my thoughts and feelings change about a product, I always put an update in the description box below. So if you're watching one of my videos for the first time, always check that description box because there will be some useful information in there for you. I'm going to zoom you back out. I am so super impressed with this product. The formula is amazing. I don't like the applicator. The applicator is far too big and it distributes far too much product than you actually need underneath the eye. So I would definitely put this on with a brush and not use the applicator sponge that's provided. But not knocking it, it's an amazing product and I will be using it again. This is £4. £4. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, there is a watermark in this corner. If you click on it, it will take you through to my home channel where you'll be able to click on the subscribe button. Got loads of videos coming up for you in the very near future. Tomorrow is the turn of the Revolution Pro Full Cover Camouflage Foundation. Tune in for that tomorrow at 8 PM. See you then. Bye.